Hi everyone, welcome to Understand the Bible. My name is Phil and today we are looking at one of your questions, a question that people very often ask me, which is, do I have to go to church to be a Christian? Or sometimes people just say, you don't have to go to church to be a Christian. I can sit at home, I can read the Bible, I can pray, I can sing songs at home, I can put on a CD. Why do I have to go to church to be a Christian? And I do get that in today's culture, it's very difficult to get to church. I mean, I've got 2 kids and it's often a real battle just to get out of the door, us all as a family. And I can appreciate having another time when you have to go out all and as a whole family every week is really hard. You know, I sometimes think parents deserve a medal just for getting out of the door with kids around. And I know a lot of people are working on Sundays or have got other commitments. And I know church can be a really difficult thing to find time to commit to. So why would you want to do it? Well, that's the thing. I think asking that question actually betrays a fundamental misunderstanding of what church is and what church is all about. The first misunderstanding is that church is a building. You know, people talk about going to church like we're going to a building. But in the Bible, the church, a building, is never called a church. There's no such thing as a church building in the Bible. These days we have buildings which are called churches, but that is not the church in the biblical sense. And the other misconception is that church is an event. You know, church is 10 o'clock, 10:30 or whatever on a Sunday morning. But actually, again, in the Bible, that's not church. Church is the people. The church is the people. Anyone who's a Christian, anyone who has believed and trusted in Jesus Christ for salvation is part of the church. You're part of it whether you like it or not. And I hope that we do like it because, as we'll see, it's really important. So being a Christian means that you are just simply part of the church. So you could say that you can't go to church, that you are the church. You can't go to church, you are the church. So how should we think about going to church? How should we think about it? Right, so think about it like this, okay? Imagine that this is me, and I'm going to draw a little me here, okay? Excuse my drawing. Imagine that's me. Now, I'm going to draw a little box here for my closest relationships, and let's say that box is my family. That's my highest priority, okay, that box there. Then there's a box a little bit further out. These are, say, my friends, you know, the people who I see. They're not my family, but they're close. And then a bit further out, there's my kind of social group. So, you know, maybe your clubs, things that you go to, you know, the people you know from your hobbies or whatever that may be. And then a bit further out, maybe you've got your work and so on. So you can kind of see that, can't you? That you've got, I'm going to label this up. So this is like our number 1 priority. And then this is like our number 2 priority. Then this is our number 3. This is our number 4. So you can kind of see that we've got different priority levels of people that we spend time with. Now, where would you put church in this? Would it be in the family, in your friends, in your social group, in your work? You know, how often would you expect to see your church family? As I think for some people, church is just like a sort of optional extra. Church is maybe even a 5th one out here. You know, it's kind of like something which is nice to go to, but it doesn't really matter because it's only about, it's just about my relationship with God. And I'll see my church family, I see my church occasionally, but it doesn't really make too much difference. And actually what the Bible says is that church should be, and I use a different colour for this, that church should be here. Church, along with your family, should be your number 1 priority. And that is because in the Bible, fellow Christians are your family. That when you become a Christian, God puts you in a whole new family, and that family is the church. So the church, it's not about going to church. It's actually, the church is your family. And so we should be prioritising seeing our family. And can you imagine not seeing your family? Unfortunately, some people can imagine that. But for most people, seeing family is a number one priority. And especially when you think about our closest family, our mums and dads, our children, being with them is a number one priority. Now, what if church was a number one priority like that? Can you imagine how different our lives would look? The church is our family. That's what Jesus said. Let me read you a few verses from Mark chapter 3, verses 31 to 35. Then Jesus' mother and brothers arrived. Standing outside, they sent someone in to call him. A crowd was sitting round him, and they told him, "Your mother and brothers are outside looking for you." "Who are my mother and my brothers?" he asked. Then he looked at those seated in a circle round him and said, "Here are my mother and my brothers. Whoever does God's will is my brother and sister and mother." So Jesus says that Christians, those who do the will of God, are God's family, his family. And he's actually, in this example, his family, his biological family, trying to exert their claim over him by saying, "Well, you're our son, our brother, you need to come out to us." And Jesus says, "Hold on a second. You don't have claim over me, because my true family are God's family, are Christians, those who believe and trust in me, those who believe and trust in God and do his will. That's who my real family are." So Jesus actually says that the church family, the Christian family, is more real than his biological family, has a greater claim than his biological family. Now, how many Christians and how many churches really think like that? I don't think I know a single church that really acts as if that was the case, which is a shame, because it's a tremendous thing. It's a beautiful and wonderful thing to have a real family, to belong to a family of God. But this is the thing, isn't it? That even though the church isn't perfect, we should still want to be with our family, knowing that we're imperfect. No family on earth is perfect. We're all made up of sinners. But we should want to be there. And you know what that expression, be the change you want to see in the world. And I think that applies with church as well. Yes, church may not be perfect, but if you're there, you can make a difference. You can treat people like family. You can start getting to know them. You can start loving them, and you can be family to them. If you're not there, nothing's ever going to change and nothing's going to happen. It's never going to get better unless you show up. So that's the thing. Don't wait till it gets better in order to show up. Be the change. Treat your church family like your actual family, and love them, and want the best for them. Spend time with them, and this is the thing, that being a Christian is not just going to church on a Sunday. It's wanting to be with your fellow Christians at other times in the week as well. I know a lot of churches have got home groups or Bible study groups or lots of opportunities to meet during the week. And I hope that you'll want to meet socially as well. Go out for a drink or meet someone for a coffee, chat to them on the phone. To actually make genuine relationships and bonds with people, because they are your family. And they are people who God has given us to love. God puts us in families. He puts us in biological families, and he puts us in church families. And the people in your church family are the ones that God has given you to love. So how are you going to show them that you love them? How are you going to show them love? That's the mindset shift. So it's not thinking about, do I have to go to church to be a Christian? It's thinking, actually, I'm part of the church. How do I show that love? And one way you can show that love is by showing up on a Sunday morning or whenever it may be. But there are lots of other ways to show that love too. So it's flipping the question round really and thinking, I'm part of the church. Now, how do I show that love? So I hope that this video has been helpful to you in thinking through about what it means to be part of the church. Do check out the rest of the channel, Understand the Bible, and the website as well. And I hope to see you again for the next session very soon. Till then, God bless.